Do we? Hey, Matt. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Nicholas. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How was the special big event last week? Last week?
Yes, so my oldest daughter got married last weekend. It was exciting. It was the first wedding on both sides for a bit, so a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and I'll tell you what, she couldn't have been more happy. She was the happiest bride I've ever seen.
Amazing. A big crowd. Big crowd.
Yeah, we had a big crowd. Yeah, big crowd. It was fun. It was fun. It went off very smoothly.
All right. Well, I am certainly not looking forward to that with my three daughters. But hey,
Yeah.
life must goes on, and this is a place where I will find myself soon as well. I mean, not soon,
Yeah.
hopefully, but at some
You
point.
got some years. You got some years.
Some years in front of me, but still. All right. Well, let's go on.
All right.
All right, everybody. This is Nico with eStreamly, the company that gets you live stream and video commerce everywhere, social media, email, SMS, website, wherever you are. The video is shoppable, multi-channel, and directly connected to checkout. Super excited to be here with Matt, my great friend from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. And we have a full docket of news last week. As you know, Matt was not here, and so instead of going into the typical news cycle, I did a quick discussion on the TikTok versus or like on platform versus on your site. Hope you like that, Matt. But before we go there, why don't you tell us very quickly what the show is about?
Thanks, Nicholas. So thank you very much for tuning in. Nicholas and I are here every week. This is called the VCommerce Show. What is the VCommerce Show? It's a weekly live stream show produced by eStreamly, featuring myself and Nicholas. Each episode dives into the latest developments in the video commerce and live shopping, including new strategies on TikTok, Amazon live streaming, and social commerce platforms, trends in the live streaming ad space, and in video checkout. So we're here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Who's it for? It's for the online retailers, any retailers that is online, brand managers, e-commerce professionals, anyone in that works or is considering video as a part of their dynamic in live selling, in selling their products. So as Nicholas said, lots to talk about this week. And Nicholas, I know you spent the last week in New York City, which is not too far from where I am, where it was 100 degrees, hazy, hot, and humid for the week. Outside of the terrible weather, how was your week in NYC?
Well, first of all, I have to say I love that weather, so it was great for me. I enjoyed it, but unfortunately, we were pretty much all the time inside the buildings. New York is you rarely go outside. Just to walk from maybe one office to another or something, or like a restaurant to an office or something like that. The show I was in was Commerce Next. It's a show that happened every year. It's in Midtown, New York. It's organized by a really, really awesome team. And I think the attendance is around 1,500, something like that. A lot of merchants, so very large retailers and mid-size e-commerce brands. So, folks that were there, like from people like the CEO of Yuri to, obviously the usual suspect from Walmart, Target, CVS, and all that, but some also very, very interesting company like Fortnite, very interesting company like about dirt bike and motorsports in Canada. There company like Shop LC and anyway, so many different company. And really what's when I had the chance and talk there and listening, I think what really struck to me is obviously everyone was talking about AI. It's a very traditional thing. And someone was saying, well, I think a lot of people keep saying, well, there's really no big use case for AI. And I felt that someone really provided something that I felt was very, very compelling. And every time I was mentioning that to others, they were saying like, yeah, this is definitely compelling. And the compelling thing that I was able to get there is there's a company called ABT Technology. Have you heard about this company, Matt, before?
No, no.
So it's crazy. Like these people. So ABT Electronic. Apparently, it's a huge store. 880,000 square feet. That's pretty massive.
Oh,
You know,
massive.
that is massive. It's in Glenview, Illinois, on a 70 acre of land, and since and that has been on for like many years, right? We're not talking about this is like a legacy business. They only have one store, and that store is, as I say, super massive. And so that's the store, and they sell everything from electronics to appliance, car and auto equipment, home essential, furniture, watches, specials, a bunch of things. So fascinating business, as you can see here, and I'm sharing the thing, and they are very forefront with everything technology that they do. Like you see an image, you can actually click. It tells you like what product to bid, so they create some very interesting, cool experience like this. But what I found, Matt, that is super fascinating is this. So if you click on the product, you go to a product page. Most of their product, they have over 300 different sales associate in the store. So you go to the store. Typically, I think like most of their sales are stored as generated. It's not online, and so people go to the store, talk to the sales associate, ask all the questions they need and everything they want and everything. But look at some feature that they have. They have something called the Ask Bot, Bolt, and Bolt is the basically it represent the name of the company, and they have pre-produced questions. And when you click on that, you have a bot opening up, the Bolt bot, and it's actually answering the question through the chat. And the reason I wanted to point this out is this company put this on the market on their PDP, and they have seen a very strong net accretive revenue generating that. And the guy was saying, I think it's the AI, it's the really first time in the history of technology that a retailer can actually say that IT is a profit center. It's a revenue generator. It's no longer like a cost. It actually is a revenue center because that is actually producing significant revenue for the organization. And accretive revenue, not like it's net new revenue that we're able to calculate. And we're talking about several millions of net new revenue through that feature. And what's interesting is they build this in-house. What they use is like ChatGPT with the training of all their product data, and they were able to get this. It's relatively fast. Actually, in fact, at Extremely, we did something very similar, not to put a plug on, but there are like something that we did for Extremely. And it's like a small bot like this where we train with our own data. And so people can ask questions to just understand better the tool or how to navigate and everything. And we found this to be pretty cool to do. And honestly, I found it super easy to implement as well. So what I'm trying to say is that that was the big takeaway. AI was everywhere. I think everyone is trying to figure out AI, but I think this is finally a real use case where people are like, yes, this is one. It's here. It's valid. It's actually generating revenue. It's not an optimization of something. It's actually a net revenue generator. And I found it fascinating.
Yeah, I'm on the site. I'm looking at a Bose wireless headphones,
Uh-huh.
and they have the frequently asked questions. What comes in the box with the Bose Quiet Comfort headphones? Do these headphones support both wired and wireless connections? And can I customize the sound or noise cancellation settings on the headphones? And
Yeah.
then it says on the bottom, well, there's more questions, pre-produced, I guess, a preset, and then you can ask more questions. So
Yeah.
this is a very cool way and a non-disruptive way, in my mind, to support the ecom customer.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like what they found is that those are for the most part silly question that maybe the consumer was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna ask it, and like I'm not gonna make a phone call and ask an associate for that specifically because they might find it a silly question." Or sometimes, and so it's like people will ask one question and then they will continue with the thread of more question. And so ultimately, they really get a grasp on the product and does it meet my need? And do you think? And so imagine what when you we know one thing, right? If you know about the product, less propension to return. That is an obvious one. But then also, you're not going to call sales associate or like an after sales. So this is time that you can allocate those sales associate to do other thing, which is, they do outreach and stuff like that. But I just found it fascinating that that little tool, I mean, it's not little tool, but it's relatively easy to implement. And yeah, like it was the guy was like really excited about this, and he had been in the industry for many 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 years, and had done some really massive implementation and everything, and that was like a big aha moment for it. So super cool story.
Now, do you think I know another hot topic that we were going to talk about is AI avatars.
Oh yeah.
Do you picture an avatar or something like a visual, implemented on this kind of a site?
So I love you bring this up. So this is another thing that I that came up recently, right? Let me share that with you. An AI avatar in China. So for the audience that are watching, you can look at this. This is an article from CNBC. We have been talking in the show about the AI avatar for many time, and we were talking about the fact that typically in China, we know it's a very live stream first culture or live stream heavy culture. I don't know if we can call it live stream first, but live stream heavy culture. And during off hours, some a merchant will have an avatar that you can engage with, and they will help you make the sale. Now, those have evolved so much and have been so compelling that very recently there's a big show that typically will generate big revenue, and the two star decided to create an avatar themselves and then start letting the avatar do the work and do the stream and everything. And the avatar in 7 hours sold for more than $7 million of product, 7.6. And they say, it was crazy. People were all over the place about this. And you know I think it's very interesting when you think about this, right? So you're no longer interacting with a person like on the live stream. This is an avatar. But the thing that really make me stop, pause for a second, and made me think about, I think if you look at the future of ecom, right? We see those chatbots. They are able to respond information to you about the products and everything. They have access to data. We know that avatars are coming their ways, and they're getting better and better at taking product, demonstrating those products in 3 dimension and stuff. Guess what the future is? I think for me, what the way I see the evolution of commerce in over the next 5 or 10 years is that we will no longer go to a website that will start with a homepage that is a blend of picture and like more a catalog style. I think the forefront, what's going to be happening is we will have the ability to get into an avatar, or maybe the avatar will be the first thing you will see on the hero image that you can talk to, and the avatar will do a very personalized demo in front of you of the product you're interested in, while making recommendation for maybe the new and the latest brightest product. I think i think it's inevitable, because every merchant is looking at personalization right now. They all want personalization at scale. And what a better way to personalize by having an avatar that it's AI, that you can ask question to, and that avatar is good enough to provide you the answer, demonstrate the product how it works, answer specific question you may have, in a very natural way, like you will be doing if you go to a store. And I think that's what we're heading towards.
Do you think it's going to take over the live streaming space, the AI?
So that's a question that I've been asking myself recently. Is that going to take over? The that specifically. I don't honestly think so, because I think people still want to have that genuine human connection, especially in the U.S. market where we're not quite ready. I mean, we also have to acknowledge that there are some channel news in China where the you are not watching a real person; it's an avatar doing the media reporting, right? The news reporting. So what I'm talking about is this is a culture that already has avatar in their day-to-day life. So the adoption is bigger, stronger, quicker. I think in the US we still want to have that human connection. We still value the human relationship and the authenticity. Everyone talks about authenticity. So I do believe that um, brand will continue be at the forefront and do their stream themselves. But 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 hey, you and I, we talked about this. Like, if you go to TikTok, if you go to whatnot, if you go to those platforms, there is no storytelling. Like it's really about like showing product in the high velocity. I mean, um, well, an avatar can do that, no? I mean, like, I don't know. It feels to me that it's much more realistic to do that because the human, I don't know. I
Well,
guess.
we've been talking about Mary Roos Organics,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and you're connected to Jay, who is the CEO of the CEO of the company, and eventually we're going to get him on the show. And I've been deep diving that brand over the last 6 months or so. Like, they touch on everything:
Yeah.
TikTok Shop, Meta, Amazon, and their own website with live streaming. They're
Mm.
going to be on QVC tonight in the
Oh,
9 o'clock show. And the
amazing.
woman that represents the brand, I'm good friends with. So, like, that brand, I think, is touching on every single aspect. And Jay, because I follow him on LinkedIn, he has said they're very close to going 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
And that's the evolution. And
Yeah.
humans cannot do that. So the avatar dynamic in some way will be implemented with brands that want to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think that has the connection as you're talking about, that one-on-one relationship for the US consumer. And again, it's almost unfair to compare us to China because their lifestyle is so different and how they handle electronics. Tech is so different, and all of it. But it's amazing. This avatar thing is becoming a very regular, acceptable way of connecting the customers and selling product.
I think is it really becoming a? I don't think it's yet becoming a regular, but it is certainly. We start to see some adoption in the US, especially around B2B sales. That is something like B2B training and stuff. But I think we are going to see more and more. I think, I will say, if I had to put a guesstimate, Avatar is probably less than 0.111% of all content out there, but it is certainly going to grow. And because there is a need, right? I mean, like, you and I, we know very well that every time we talk to a merchant, the number one thing is like, who is going to create the content? How am I going to do? I don't have the time and the bandwidth, and all that coming up.
Yeah.
So it is a big pain point. And if someone think that they can say, hey, I can click that button and I have a new channel open up 24/7, and if it gets sales, great. If I don't, I mean, I can try for a couple months. I mean, I think that's how people would dream about it. I don't I don't think that's the way it's going to work. But honestly, we know, like, if that were to be the case, there will be demand for it immediately. So it's coming. Certainly, it's coming.
So, Nicholas, we talk a lot about YouTube on this show, and
Oh yeah,
I believe YouTube is they've been around for 20 some years, but I think they are the app to follow and the app to pay attention to. And what we saw an interesting article this week, actually just yesterday, that YouTube is raising the minimum age for live streaming to 16 years old.
yeah.
So starting
So
on July 22nd, which is less than a month away, teen creators from ages 13 to 15, or I guess even younger, can still live stream, but only if an adult is visibly present and actively involved. So accounts that violate that new policy may lose their live streaming features, and repeat offenses could lead to permanent bans.
Yeah.
So we're in the the world of these kids. A couple of my wife's young cousins are creating YouTube content all the time. They go to at a family party, they go into another room and they dance around and they're creating YouTube content and they're having fun in a very innocent way. Now you can't do it through live streaming unless you're 16 years old. Was this um, a necessary marker for YouTube to create
I
stay
if you
relevant?
I think like I don't think it's relative to being relevant or not being relevant. I think it's more related to some of the backlash that they got across many privacy group and many parental groups saying, well, live stream is and kids are getting there's too much going on in their life, and social media is not healthy. We know in Australia that TikTok got banned, I think, for kids that are of minors than 16 and or even 18, if I remember. I can't remember exactly the date, but there have been those regulation body already trying to take place, and I think YouTube is acknowledging that as one of the biggest platforms out there, it's not the biggest. They need some rules that parents will feel comfortable with, and I think this is one of them, right? The ability of saying, okay, well, you can live stream, but when you're 16 and above, I think that's healthy, because at the end of the day, it's like, what, like, do you want to have your kid glued into a live stream for 20, 16, 18 hours? I mean, as a parent, normally you are the one that should regulate that, but maybe it's not always easy as parents, and so the platform are helping by saying, hey, you can't do that either. So I think it's a healthy message, and I think it's important. We know that for creators, that massive creators, one of their biggest problem is mental health, right? In terms of like it's really drain your energy and your effort, and it's very draining. And I think it's an effort in that direction, and I think it's the right thing to do for them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have to protect our children in every way we can,
Yeah.
and it's becoming harder and harder with tech, and harder with these social media platforms. So, I
Yeah.
think that was a healthy story for the week.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll stop there because it's not because I just want to talk about AI this week, but again, I'll talk about there is something that I think, we were talking about the evolution of avatar live stream and the website. I think there's another thing that's super cool. You and I, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when VO3 came in, is like this ability of, hey, you take product, you merchandise those products, your data, you massage it and everything, and you turn that into a video, and that video gets distributed and stuff like that. So I did wanted to play a small game here for the show. So we're gonna be doing it together, and I have no idea what the outcome is gonna be. So bear with me with that. So what I did is, Matt, I went to take something. I went on and apply. Let me pull this up very quickly. So I went and looked at this. So I took this Amazon link. I mean, I think you can't do any more boring product to do a video for, but why not? I took this one by random because it's a recent purchase I made. So this is like a
It's a printer.
printer. It's a printer. It's a printer, and I just took the link of that, and then I used this software called Creatify. I have no idea if it's a good one or bad one. I just felt like it would be fun to use it. What I did is I dropped the URL of that product into the software, and then the software proposed me like, well, what format do you need, like vertical, horizontal, the long, short, whatever. Then it say, what avatar do you want me to use? Again, we go back to the avatar, the thing, and then they say they come up with like, I think 10 or 15, and then I just for the sake of this, I just took one completely random, and I say, let's render it, because so this is the
It's a
video,
big clunky printers.
and
This one fits
can we get
anywhere
the audio?
at all. Meet the brother MFC
I won't be able to get the
J1010BW.
audio
It's
as
so
soon
Oh,
as
I
I.
hear it. I hear
plugged
it.
into any home
Okay.
office or small workspace. Don't let the size fool you. This printer scans, faxes, and copies with speed and ease. Setup is quick, and the adjustable 150 sheet paper tray means fewer refills. Save your space and still get everything you need in
So
one.
what's interesting here is like we are still seeing it on a TikTok format, right? So the avatar is on the corner, the product is on the side. She is talking about the product. You have the overlays coming up. I mean, I couldn't hear the audio, so I don't. I will have to on the
No, it's amazing.
when we stop this, I have to go back and look at the audio. And if it wasn't actually an interesting product demo, whatever, so it's a 30-second video. But hey, like it says, it tells you have a call to action, you have a product. It's like a couple pictures that been added and whole through the data of the super interesting.
And the only input you used, Nicholas, was the URL.
Yeah, only input was the URL. I had to choose the different avatars, as you can see here. So this is absolutely not a plug for Creatify. I have no affiliation. I don't know those people. I don't know if they're cool people or great people, whatever. I just went on and I just wanted to test it out. But I do recommend folks to try out because this is super cool. I think, I just, you can do really a bunch of different things you want to do. Does it mean that the UGC, the role of UGC is dumb and we will never have UGC anymore? I don't think that's the case, but I just found it like super interesting to think of it as, okay, as technology evolve and as we have to produce more and more content, this might be an interesting way and an interesting path for merchants to play around and create interesting ad at a lower cost, see what works, what doesn't, and then maybe when things clicks and works better, maybe doing it better with more production and everything, and then maybe pushing to a further ad. But just to give up some idea of testings and iteration faster, I think that could be interesting. Obviously, a lot of big brands will never touch this because of AI policy and everything. But I think what a great time for a small brand that wants to be innovative and iterate stuff. That could be something interesting.
That was very cool, Nicholas. I mean, that's where we're heading right there. It's no longer a white screen with text. It's an interactive communication with the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matt, we have been on for 27. Oh my God, 27 minutes again. Really, really great. Well, we had so many things to tell and discuss. A lot of AI today for some reason, but we will take a break, isn't it?
Yeah. A little break. Month of July, we'll take our little summer vacation. We still have a lot of episodes you could dive into that if you missed. Right, all through all of our platforms, you could go over a lot of the different things. I'm sure we'll repost them. What episode is this, Nicholas? How long have we been doing this?
Oh, this one is probably 180 or something.
There's a lot of content for the summer. If you missed on your summer walks around the neighborhood, you could dive into some of the conversations we've had. They've all been great.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do like maybe highlighting the top 10 or the top 15 of our favorite or something. Like we should figure out how to do that. That would be cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and see how outdated some of them are, because this world changes every day. It's amazing.
Yeah,
there's something new every single week.
Yeah, and to your point, like don't go to the very, very early on because the audio was terrible, the messaging was terrible, everything was bad. But if you do that, then you'll see there's hopefully some progress in the conversation and the quality of the conversation. And we love to be here with you every Friday. So again, thank you everyone for being here. You can follow us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on eStreamly handle, on YouTube, on the eStreamly handle. You can find the pod on the live e-commerce podcast on the Apple and also your Spotify, where we have also the video. Check out Matt Hodlofski on LinkedIn and check with him and chat, or you can check also with me and chat with me, Nicolas Bailliache on LinkedIn as well. thanks everyone for being here. It's been a blast to see you all. Although we didn't see you, but hopefully, maybe in the future, who knows, right? Everyone will have his own camera, and we could do a mega live stream, But we will come back again after a small content break.
All right, Nicolas.
Bye.
Have a great summer. Bye-bye.